1 year ago today, I had to put my monthly rent on credit every single month to be able to pay it. I was driving a Nissan Altima. I dropped out of college and I had no idea what I was going to do. Now I wake up every day and get notifications like this that $917 is going to my bank account. I felt it would be unfair to not kind of make a sit-down video talking about where I came from, how I got into this, because I was not the entrepreneur type at all. And I feel like a lot of kids, they assume that you have to be some sort of genius or you have to like make some sort of certain play to be able to get into, online money and make a good amount of money from doing stuff online. But that's just not the case, and I am proof of it. So in this video, you might not learn how to make $50,000 in the next month, but you definitely will get some sort of motivation, and it might lift a little stress off your shoulders considering where I came from and how I was able to do this in literally under a year. So the whole reason I want to make this video is because I got a flashback. I think I posted it on TikTok, but I literally had my setup from my desk when I first started. I'll put it on the screen. This was where I made my first $10,000 profit month within my first 3 months of starting this business model, you could say. Literally just 1 year ago. And so this flashback made me kind of want to reminisce on where I've come and kind of just talk about the journey, how I got here. While I was working at a restaurant, I knew I had to make it out somehow. I knew that this was not going to help me get rich. I knew I wasn't going to go to college and work some corporate job. I knew I had to do something different, either start a business, whether it's online, whether it's in person. So every single day after work, I would just research certain business models that could help me make more money on the side. I somehow stumbled upon appointment setting and closing because I looked into the whole growth operating space and how to like manage creators to make more money. Obviously, I didn't have enough skill sets to do that. So I stumbled upon becoming a sales rep for influencers selling info products, masterminds, courses, all that sort of stuff. So I figured if I could just become a sales rep, I'm decently well spoken. I'm already a server, so I sell food for a living. So if I could become a sales rep for one of these online gurus and get a small commission, I could definitely probably make a little bit of side cash. The reason high ticket sales kind of stuck out to me, or like sales for influencers, was because it actually made sense. I had been on a bunch of these like sales calls for like these online gurus teaching you how to drop ship and stuff like that. So I knew that these guys had a team that were making money somehow. I just didn't know how to become a part of it. You know what I mean? Instead of like being the method, you were part of, the team that was selling those courses and stuff like that. But yeah, this was one of the only business models that actually made sense to me. Like dropshipping made sense to me too, but I tried it for like 6 months. I realized that the profit margins were low. I had to find creatives. It was kind of luck. Like a lot of these stuff was luck, but this was the only business model that it was like fully up to me to be able to make money. So every time that I sold a deal for an influencer, I'll get into this in a second, you make money on it. So it's solely up to you. It's solely up to your ability to speak. So I just thought that this was going to be the best route for me to make quick side cash. Kind of understanding how I work and how a lot of people I find work is that the second that I have an idea to do something, I have to act on it very, very quick, or else it's going to go away and I'm going to start to get doubtful. I'm going to feel like it doesn't work. I know a lot of people are like, oh, you're supposed to grind for years and years before you see any sort of success in any business model. But for me, I just don't work that way. Like if I go to the gym every single day for 2 years straight and I don't see any sort of result, I'm never going to go to the gym again. That's just how I work. Like if I really grind for something for a few months, I want to see some sort of success, maybe not 10K, 20K a month, but some sort of small success just to mentally know that it's real. I can actually put my effort for it because it's gonna reap some sort of reward at the end of the day. But yeah, if I'm not seeing any result, I just really don't like that. That's why a lot of these business models didn't work for me specifically, because I need to see some sort of result, just because online business in general is kind of like a hit or miss sort of thing in a lot of people's heads. Online money isn't real, it's a scam, this and that. So I needed to see some sort of success before I fully jumped in. So that's why this business model was phenomenal for me. Instead of beating around the bush, the business model that I chose was high ticket sales. So basically becoming an appointment setter or an appointment closer for an influencer selling a mastermind, a mentorship, a course, any sort of those dudes online that are selling something. You are becoming the sales rep on their team and getting a commission of what they sell because they don't have time for it. They're making content, they're doing other stuff. So you become the sales rep contacting all the leads that want to buy their product. So the reason it's so profitable is because these people that are selling these mentorships, masterminds, etc., they're selling them for super high ticket. It's anywhere from, $2,000 to $10,000, and you're getting a 10% commission on that product. So if you sell, two $2,000 products to one of their audience members, you're making $400 profit every single day. So once I closed my first deal and I made, I think it was like $75, it was kind of like a mid-ticket thing, I realized if I did this 4 times a day, I no longer had to go to work and I could just do this full time. So that was really the turning point for me, was once I actually closed my first deal, saw my first even $75, I realized it was legit, and if I did this over and over and got really good at it, I could actually do this full time. You can become a high ticket sales rep for a bunch of different things. You could do it for a, software as a service company. You could do it for like an AI software selling to businesses. But the best thing that works for me, and which I saw the most success with, was online coaches. So basically like fitness coaches, like business coaches, any sort of mentor online, because there's so much trust within those mentors, because the audience has been watching them for so long. They've been watching them for months and months. So by the time that they sell something to their audience, they are so beyond ready to buy it. So by the time you as a sales rep contact them, they're basically money ready. So for me, the first niche that I started in was how to start a clothing brand mentorship. So a very random thing. There's so many kids out there that want to start a clothing brand. So that was the first niche that I started in. I did very, very well. One of my first calls that I ever closed for $5,000 paid in full. So I made $500 in like 30 minutes. That changed my entire life forever. I actually still have that call recorded. I'll put like a screenshot up right here of me closing it. I was literally like in my college dorm closing it, made $500 like that. And right when I made that $500, I actually called my boss and I called out of work the next day. Even with $500, I just saw the vision. I was like, I'm no longer going to have to go to work and serve for money, because if I could just do this once or twice a day, I no longer have to do anything. I fully have freedom. There's a bunch of different mentorships that you can sell for. For me, I like the clothing brand mentorship, but at the end of the day, you're going to want to choose something that you understand as a person. So if you're really into fitness, do a fitness one. If you're really into AI, do an AI mentorship. Whatever mentorship that you kind of know about and speak the language, that's something that you're going to want to go for. This overall though, because I've tried a lot of things. So from ages 18 to 20, I've tried just about everything in the entire world, from drop shipping to starting real life businesses to pretty much every sort of, SMMA, all that online stuff. But the one difference that I saw with this was that it wasn't fulfillment based. Okay, so it doesn't matter what you end up doing. You don't have to fulfill anything. All you have to do is become the middleman between the guy who actually does fulfillment and the person wanting to buy the product. So everything is already laid out for you, so you don't need some sort of marketing skills. You don't need anything really. The only thing that you need is the ability to speak well and the ability to be coachable, because at the end of the day, if you hop on the call with somebody and they don't end up closing and you know that you should have closed them, you have to be coachable enough to tell yourself to get some sort of help on why that didn't close, what you can do better, and how to implement it as soon as possible so the next person you do hop on the phone with closes. And it's super motivating, because if you don't close a deal, you're not getting paid. So it's in your best interest to become the best sales rep you can for the influencer, so you can make the most amount of money possible. Rather than, for example, SMMA, when someone pays you a $2,000 a month retainer, you're not really that motivated to work really hard for them, because every single month you're getting $2,000, regardless of if you sell anything for them or if you do good work for them. It doesn't matter. You're getting paid the same amount. For me personally, when I knew that my income was controlled by how good I was at this skill set, or how many dials I was supposed to do to call these people, I knew I was going to work all day long. I was working for 8 hours a day if I knew that there was potential for me to make like $1,000 to $2,000 in a day. That's ridiculous. So it's also, I'm really not the smartest kid in the room, nor am I like a super mega entrepreneur type. I never really had been that way. I've always just worked like shitty jobs. I was never really good at school. So having something that just worked right off the bat, it just worked. And I can't really describe it, just because you have to understand, once you close your first deal, the confidence that it gives you to be able to do it over and over is just unbelievable. Like, I knew the second that I closed that first deal, this is what I was going to do, and I wasn't going to have to work a job again. It's just so beginner friendly. I don't think there's anything else that within your first 3 months you can scale to like, my first month I made about $3,000 profit. So not a ton of money, but enough for me to be like, holy shit, I could definitely do this full time. If I put my full effort into this, I could double it, maybe make 6K, maybe make 10K. So that's exactly what I did. So it's the craziest beginner friendly business model. I know some other people get lucky with like drop shipping and end up making like 100K their first month. But for the general population of people trying to get into online business, I could not think of anything better than starting as an appointment setter for an online influencer selling a mentorship. That is the best way to possibly do it. So everybody watching this is probably like, okay, where's the catch? Like, where's the hard part about this? And if you actually think about it, The hardest part about this is actually finding that influencer that you can work for, okay? So that's the tough part, okay? I actually ended up, I don't want to say I got lucky, but I ended up DMing a bunch of people and I caught onto these people pretty early. So I had a few people that I started as a sales rep for when they were very, very small. They ended up gaining a lot of traction on social media. So it blew up. I ended up reaping some of those rewards because I was like one of their day one sales reps. They ended up blowing up on social media. So I was like their top sales rep that kept making money. The main piece of advice that I have is just be different. Just do something different to catch their attention. Every single person is in their DM saying, guys need an appointment setter, this and that. Chances are they probably do need an appointment setter. If you're a really well-talented, skilled appointment setter, they're going to want you on their team. They just don't know about you. So you have to somehow put yourself in front of their face in a non-annoying way. The best skill that I've done this, which I've talked about in a lot of videos, is just sending a simple Loom video to their DMs, to their emails, but do it strategically. Do it to somebody who doesn't have a ton of followers. Do it to somebody that has a decent amount of followers that you could potentially ride their wave and end up, growing with over time. Just look up and coming influencers that you think are going to blow up, that are getting, 2,000 to 5,000 views a video on YouTube. Reach out to those people. Try to see if you can become a sales rep for them. That's going to be your best bet on actually becoming an appointment setter for some of these up and coming influencers, rather than reaching out to fucking Iman Godzi, who has 1 million subs on YouTube. He's never going to respond to you. So if I could break this down into how you guys could get into this within the next 3 months, what I would honestly say is step number 1, find an influencer that you would like to become an appointment setter for. Okay, step number 2 is go to ChatGPT or look up online the best appointment setting script for online info product coaches. Okay, just look that up. It doesn't have to be the greatest script in the world, because you're going to get better at calls as you actually do calls, because you're going to figure out the certain things that work, the certain things that don't. Like going to the gym and watching tutorials on how to get big in the gym, but in reality you're only going to get big in the gym when you actually pick up the weights. That's the only way you're going to get better. So once you get that script and you start calling 50 people every single day, once you get that first job, and you learn one little thing and implement it on each call, by the end of those 3 months you're going to be so good at sales you're not even going to know what to do. So yeah, start as an appointment setter and just every single day try to get your first job. It's really not that hard to get your first job. There's so many coaches popping up left and right every single day that I see people online saying oh, there's not that many coaches. So how are you going to become an appointment setter? There's really not that many coaches. If you just look up how to dropship on Instagram or YouTube, you can literally find 5,000 coaches teaching people how to dropship. There is no shortage of coaches anytime soon. There are so many people popping up every day trying to be a guru. So that's not a worry at all. There's more coaches than there are sales reps for coaches. I'll just put it that way. So supply and demand is off. So if you are well-spoken, you are going to do well in this industry. You just have to take the first steps to do it. That first appointment setting script, land that first position. If you guys don't know how to land a position, posted a whole YouTube video on how to land your first position for free down below 2 weeks ago. So just check that video out if you guys don't know how to land it. But yeah, get a script online. I actually have a free appointment setting script in my Discord down below. I have a free Discord where I basically just answer remote sales questions and stuff like that completely for free. So check that out if you guys want free scripts and stuff. A little cheat sheet for you guys. I have a free Discord down below where I actually give away my exact appointment setting script, and I also give away a whole guide on how to land your first offer for free. So if you guys want that completely for free, join my free Discord down below. Check that out and you land your first offer. Do $50 a day, implement one thing and try to get better each call. And once you land your first commission, you're going to be so motivated to keep doing this because you're going to know it's legit. So that's the biggest recommendation. So that's the first 1 to 2 months is become an appointment setter, start to get commissions. I would say on month 2.5 or 3, you start to transition to a closer. Okay, closer is a little bit more of a skilled position, but that's where the real money is made. That's where you can make 10, 20, 30, 40,000 bucks a month. I was making up to 35,000 bucks a month at my peak. I know dudes that make 70,000 bucks a month as closer. That's a rare case scenario, but if you get really good and all the cards are right, you can definitely make a shit ton of money from being a closer. You just got to do it the right way. You got to follow the right steps. I have a lot of people DM me hey man, closing sounds a lot more up my alley. Yeah, me too. It sounds up everybody's alley because there's more money to be made. But realistically, you have to start as an appointment setter just to get those first initial steps so you understand the business model, you understand the whole process, then you can move to closer. I even had one kid come up to me and he was yeah man, I just really, I want to be a sales manager. And I'm oh, well, how much cash collected do you have as a closer? 0. How much cash collected do you have as a setter? 0. So it's just some people are just going to want to skip the entire line, which is good for you because if you actually want to do it the right way, and it doesn't take long. It takes 3 months to go through the whole process. Once you do that, you're going to have enough experience to do this for the rest of your life. You no longer are going to have to work a job if you can correctly do this, because there's always going to be an age range of influencers. So if you're in your young 20s, you could sell for an influencer that's also in his young 20s. If you're in your 30s, you could sell for an influencer that's teaching people in their 30s how to get fit. There's always going to be a niche for you in this industry because the internet's going nowhere. It's only growing. I talked to high ticket closers. This dude I talked to was like 48 years old. He was making like $50K a month selling a software to businesses. There's always a need for this. There's always in demand if you're a skilled person. And you know, if it turns out if you don't like being an appointment setter, you don't like being a closer after a few months of doing it, great. You can take the skill sets that you used from, you know, being a sales rep and start your own business. It's not going to hurt you. The only thing it's going to do is propel you forward within this entire online industry. So after doing this for about a year, I ended up moving up from setting to closing to becoming the top closer to managing and hiring sales reps for influencers and teams, because now I know kind of what to look for. So if you guys are interested in getting guaranteed offers and training, I have a link for that down below my free Discord. We have over 160 different influencers every single month that we hire for. As long as you're willing to go through some high ticket sales training and actually give a full effort, you're guaranteed a job position after, as long as you're not like a total bot. This is seriously one of the best business models. It changed my entire life. I'm literally traveling in Barcelona. I'm going to go to a bunch of different countries, literally just because I can, just because I make money online. I've been able to buy watches, cars, whatever I want, just because of the fact that I took one simple risk and did what other people didn't want to do by starting as an appointment setter, doing kind of dirty work for a month, move up to closer. I mean, within 3 months, I was making over $10,000 a month at this shitty setup. It's so doable. And if you guys don't believe me, scroll down to the bottom of my YouTube. I documented the whole thing. Go to my Twitter. I documented my first commission close as a setter. I literally documented. So document your journey. Go through the whole process, and within 1 year, you will not recognize yourself. It's ridiculous. This industry is only growing. There's only going to be more gurus, consultants, influencers that are selling products. So become the go-to player today. Start to learn the skill sets today so that in the next 2-3 years, you become the go-to closer for these guys. You'll make so much money, you don't know what to do with it. But either way, I'm going to wrap up this yap. Hopefully this helped. I know these are kind of like boring videos, but these are just for the people that want more information on high ticket sales. They want to get their foot in the door in this online business stuff. So if you guys learned anything, please leave a comment down below. And if you guys have any questions on remote sales, leave it down below in the comments. I will respond to all those comments. Literally, even if it's a stupid question, I don't care. I had the same questions when I first started out. Comment it down below. I'll answer it. Check out my other videos if you guys want more like in-depth tutorials on how to land a job and stuff like that. But other than that, get to work. I hope you guys make it, and I'll see you guys in a few days.